Alfonso A.C. Riley is a singer and songwriter who's also a creative who loves God. He tells me what he's working on musically for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Alfonso A.C. Riley, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Needless to say, you are a local singer and songwriter. You also describe yourself as a creative and, of course, a lover of God. So tell me, what's new, what's now with your music?
As of right now, I am in the process of working on some creation, some music, some melodies, melodic tones, and things that hopefully people will understand, that people will gravitate to, and that people will love, and ultimately that God will smile upon.
Tell me, how many melodies and tones are you working on with this particular project?
This project, I'm really taking my time. I've ran through my library of songs that I've had, and really just pulling those that I think would express myself best in this season. And then once we get them all completed and done, we're going to pick and choose and see what's the best flow, what songs marry each other the best, and come together for a great compilation.
When you look in that library of songs, which songs actually describes you the best?
I think they all do. I'm grateful that God has allowed me to be a songwriter, so I'm able to write for myself. And whether I'm happy, sad, excited, mad, confused, perplexed, frustrated, whatever that feeling is that emotes from my hand to the pen to the paper, they all describe me at one day, at one point, one time. Or God is allowing me to write a song that will speak to people and just help them where they are.
What is the biggest difference about you being a songwriter today?
The biggest difference would probably be the maturity level. Just writing and understanding what I'm writing, and making sure that it's biblically sound and that it really makes sense. I want to make sure that it is clear across the board, and that it's a full, complete work, if that makes sense.
And what is, well, take me back to the time that you started writing music to right now. What has changed dramatically about your writing style?
Not much has changed beyond the maturity aspect. I think I've always been I follow, I guess, a pattern of how I write, and I make sure everything makes sense. Yeah, I think I've been consistent with my writing beyond, of course, the maturity aspect and being able to speak upon things differently as life progresses and life has its experiences. But I'd say I'm pretty consistent in what I've been writing and how I write.
And how you write. So, how have you been able to speak on things differently with your music?
Just the maturity aspect again. Just being able to, express things in a different way, that makes sense now that may not have been, different. That may have been different then. So just using an array of words to really express the current situation.
And tell me about those words. Which ones resonate with your music the best?
Every word that's in the English language probably resonates with everything that I have. It just depends on how God allows me to use them.
How exactly are your listeners able to increase their intuition and self-awareness through your music?
Honestly, by listening to it, you won't. Well, as it pertains to food, you won't know you like it until you taste it. So I think that's the same with music and things that I write and compose. You won't know that it's for you unless you actually give it a chance. And I believe that God will make that opportunity available to those who need it and to be encouraged through what they hear.
Who exactly is encouraging you from a musical standpoint?
From a musical standpoint, who encourages me? Um, I'll say life in general, of course. There are different, artists and celebrities that, I listen to, that I glean to, that help. And then just like the people in my life, who speak well into me and of me, and in those moments when it's necessary and not even, surprising to me when didn't know I would need it. So those people that I listen to as far as artists, fellow artists, whether they be locally or on the grander scale, and then just the people God has placed in my life.
Which one of those artists actually relates to your music?
I'm not sure who would relate to my music, but hopefully that those artists that do listen to it, whether they be an artist or just another person who's been affected by my music, they relate to it in a place that they can actually relate and respond and execute in a different manner by listening to what I've already written.
What else has your music given life to?
Opportunity with the writing. It's given opportunity, but I think for the most part, it's given me encouragement to see how people respond to it, to see how people are affected by it, to say that it's helped me do this, then that it's a great song. Any compliment or any encouragement that I get from it is what I deem the most valuable.
What else do you value when it comes to your music?
The entire process, from the writing to the arrangement to the final composition of studio work and all that. I think the entire process is what I love, to be honest.
Who is AC Riley in the studio?
AC Riley in the studio is very meticulous. He's very he's very ABCD, wanting to make
Right,
sure that everything
right.
gets right. And yeah, I think that's the best way to describe it. Though on myself, I want to make sure A because of course you're in a space that you want to make sure everything's right. You want to make sure everything's perfect. And you've allotted these people to come in to be with you. And so just A, B, C, D, making sure that from A to Z all is well, and that the end result is something that we're all pleased with.
Oh, please, with. Let me ask you this. What exactly is your creative space when it comes to music?
My creative space is I guess what's the best way to say it? I guess my mental. That's my creative space. That's usually where things start.
Mm,
That's where the wheels get turning, and
sure.
then of course we're in a day and age now where pen and paper is almost obsolete. So we have our phones with voice notes and recordings, and then from there, giving it to the people who are going to be a part of that process, and then creating the end result. So that's
Mm.
probably my creative space. Different avenues, different facets to it.
And what avenue did you take to get to where you are right now musically?
As far as what
As you just,
avenues I
as going back to what you just talked about, obviously creative space. So, what avenue did you take to get to where you are musically?
uh just life and living. I think and the opportunity and knowing the timing of life when it is to release music. You can write songs all day, but you have to make sure that the season is right for what you're writing, making sure that the atmosphere is conducive, so that it's well received, and so that when it rains on the earth, when it rains on the listeners, it produces a harvest, it produces encouragement, it produces momentum, and it propels people to where they need to be, and myself included.
Where do you want to be next musically?
um Where do I want to be next musically? Honestly, the first thing that I heard was consistent. Not that I haven't been consistent in my writing, not that I haven't been consistent in my formula, but to be in a place where not that it's second nature, but that it comes with ease, and that those around me understand and sense my presence, and we are cohesive and we move together. And again, not saying that doesn't happen now, but even a greater sense of it all.
Singer and songwriter. Unfortunately, I'm out of time, but unfortunately, but singer and songwriter Alfonso AC Riley. Thank you for your time, and again, welcome to Quintin's Close Ups.
Thank you.